in this video I'm going to be explaining hidden button plackets. So I'm basing my pattern on menswear shirt. So on my left front is my buttonholes placket, and on my right front is where my buttons are going to be. If you're doing women's wear, it will be the other way around because you wrap your right side over the left hand side. So let me just go through the details on my pattern. I've got quite a lot of information on here, but when you do the pattern there won't be this much on there. So these are my buttonholes, and I've marked 4 strips, and these are going to be my forward lines. My seam allowance is 1 centimetre, and your neckline is probably going to be there curved. And the red line is my centre front, and my grey line is parallel to my centre front. So now I'm just going to fold it up how it would be when it's being sewn. So this is my 2 centimetre wide placket. Underneath that is my buttonholes, and the underneath part is 1.8 centimetres, so when it's sewn it won't be poking out from underneath, it's always hidden. And when you notch your fold lines, you can either notch the actual fold line itself, or you can notch through the centre front line, so that when you fold it up together you just match all of the centre front notches together. So just go for the width view again. My 1 centimetre seam allowance, 1.8, 1.8, and then 2 centimetres and 2 centimetres. So you fold between the two 1.8 centimetres, and then you fold between the two 2 centimetres, and then they overlap each other. And I'll show you from the top how it is. So your 1 centimetre seam allowance is folded behind like this, and when you sew it, flatten the two 2 centimetre strips together, open this up, and you just sew along this line that I have here. In this way everything is secure, and you won't get a seam allowance poking out from the back, so this is all clean and you won't see any stitch lines from the back, and you'll just see one stitch line along where I've marked this line. Either that, or you can sew about 2 mil in from this fold. This will keep the plackets flat, so it acts like a top stitching, and you'll get a stitch line just before where I've marked the line instead. You'll notice that my button stand is also marked at 1.8 centimetres and not 2 centimetres. For the same reason that the placket is narrower, it's so that the guard will cover all the edges. So when this goes on top, so imagine this is a stitch line. When this is fastened centre front to centre front, you'll see that the 2 centimetre overlaps a little bit. And I've only done 2 mil, but you can do it as wide as you want to, and these are just my standard measurements, but you can do a really wide placket or even narrower one if you want to. My centre front line is in the middle of my 2 centimetre placket guard. So this is my guard, which doesn't have buttonholes, and this is my actual placket, which does have buttonholes. So I've got 1 centimetre on either side of my placket guard, and because my placket is narrower, I need to mark my buttonholes from this edge 1 centimetre in. So on my placket guard it's in the middle, but on my placket my buttonholes are not in the middle. It's 1 centimetre from the inside to here, and then 8 mil from here to the edge. So overall the buttonholes are still going to be in the centre front. And when you match that to your button placket, your button stand, just match the centre fronts together, and your button and your buttonhole should match in the same place. This is a grown-on hidden placket, and if you don't want a grown-on one, you just have to split the pattern down this line, furthest to the body, and split the pattern, add 1 centimetre on each side and just attach it. This could be easier on cutting fabric, otherwise you need one big piece. So if your fabric isn't wide enough, you can easily slash it down there and split it into 2. This goes for the button stand side as well. This is a grown-on one, so I just fold it back like this and the buttons will go on top. And if you want to split this one as well, again, just split the pattern along this line that's closest to the body, away from the edge, and add 1 centimetre seam allowance on each piece and attach it there.